Who doesn't like a little orange spice in their life? Yeah. The new Saucony Peregrine 12 is a fun and fast trail shoe that has gone through a complete redesign. Now lighter and more nimble than ever, the Peregrine 12 seems to be designed for race day or fast tempo efforts over moderately technical terrain in protective comfort. A thinner layer of Power Run midsole is layered with a thin, flexible rock plate and 5mm Power Track outsole lugs underfoot. Up top is a newly designed, thin and light mesh upper with minimal welded overlays and a simplistic build that holds to the foot in a precise way. These new Peregrines are light and fast, but will Peregrine purists prefer the previous version of the Peregrine that was so popular? How many P's can I put into a sentence? Apparently all of them. Is there enough underfoot in the Peregrine 12 to make these my go-to trail grab? We'll find out in today's review. Let's dive in.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. As you can tell, I'm firing on all cylinders today in that intro. We're going to get right into it. Today, we're talking about the Saucony Peregrine 12. I reviewed a number of these shoes in the past, previous versions and whatnot. I think this new version is a complete overhaul that many of you might like. It's an interesting evolution of the shoe, and I think it opens up Saucony's trail line to some additional offerings, which I'll chat about later in the review. Before I get into the review, of course, the FTC requires that I let you know that these shoes were provided for review by Running Warehouse. I'm under no obligation to say anything positive or negative about the shoes. I'm not financially compensated in any way for anything that I say in this review. No one has to approve this review. You're the first to see it. With that out of the way, let's get into this thing. I talk about the things I like and dislike about every product I review on this channel. These are no different. Let's start, as always, with the things that I like. The grip. I think these things are incredible with grip. They are using their own outsole rubber. It's their Power Track rubber with 5mm lugs, which are pretty beefy lugs. There's a lot of them. This chevron shape, I think, really contributes to these getting great grip in a multitude of situations. So in wet, muddy conditions, you'll be good. I like the Power Track in this usage. I think it works well on slidey surfaces like roots, rocks, bridges, creek crossings, things like that. It performs better than I've experienced in the past. I don't know if they've changed the compound or just in this version alone. Maybe it's wearing in a little bit better, which makes it just a bit tackier. I get great grip, and I think a cool addition is this rock plate that's sort of embedded in the outsole material. The protection from underfoot because of this outsole is increased. So not only are these lugs getting you that grip, but the outsole itself is providing just enough protection underfoot. Fit. Now this is because of this new upper. So the upper's been redesigned. The welded overlays are pretty minimal, but they are in the right places for that protection across the toe box and things like that. The mesh is lighter, it's thinner, it's more breathable. But what I love is the midfoot fit, the lacing system, and across the toe box, it's a more precision fit. And I say that with a bit of an asterisk because I don't think it's Solomon precision fit, where sometimes that just doesn't work for people and tends to be a bit narrower. I do think that the Peregrine 12 has a decent sized toe box, a fit across the midfoot that locks your foot down, and a really solid heel cup that locks your ankle in as well. There's not an abundance of materials to make the fit cumbersome, and there's not a reduced amount of materials to make it weak. I think you're getting a good mix in the right places that make this shoe a very good fitting precision shoe. Speed. I'm going to admit I'm not super fast, but I feel fast in this shoe, and this shoe is definitely leaning into the more reduced, faster, more flexible realm. So for me, I'm not finding myself wanting to run in the shoe over 12 miles, 15 miles. I'm a bigger dude. If you're looking for running a trail 5K, 10K, half marathon, this thing could be a really fun option. Or if you're just looking for a trainer that you can pick up the pace and work on those speedy trail days, working on the tempo, the Peregrine 12 actually does a pretty damn good job of making you feel at one with the trail. I'm seeing the word nimble being used a lot in their marketing, and I think that's a great descriptor of what these shoes feel like, or at least let you feel like. Think a light, sort of reduced slipper that fits really well, that makes you feel fast on the trail. Nice and snappy, very responsive. That is what you are getting out of the Peregrine 12. That being said, it's not all Survivor reruns and Snyder cuts. I'm Batman. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the Saucony Peregrine 12. Let's get to those now. Comfort. specifically through the midsole. While I think previous versions of the Peregrine did a pretty good job of putting enough underfoot that it provided you with that additional layer of power run cushioning, I think the power run usage here, it's a bit on the reduced side. And so for me, it's going to be a shorter effort shoe. I think Saucony has sort of opened up that space in their product line to offer a new, maybe ultra geared shoe, which I am going to tease that perhaps they have created. What cushion and give this midsole provides is fairly minimal. So the mileage for me tends to be on the shorter end of things. While it's great for speed and faster efforts, I don't think I'm going to be using it for an ultra or anything over a half marathon, which to me ultimately limits how I use this shoe and where it fits in my rotation. Durability. This is more of a concern, and it's also why I'm including it in my dislikes here. While I do think the shoe is holding up, I have about 50, 60 miles in the shoe so far. I do have my concerns. This Power Track outsole, while I do like the lugs, I like the shape, I like the grip, I'm not foreseeing it lasting a ton of miles, maybe 150 to 200 miles or so. The Power Run midsole being a bit reduced, I think that's going to begin to flatten out a little prematurely. But really, where my big concern in durability, at least the potential durability issues, is with this upper. These welded overlays, I'm seeing a little bit of the seams begin to separate from the mesh upper. And the mesh upper now being a thinner mesh upper, will it hold up to the abuse of technical trails, dusty climates, things like that, where your sweat will absorb some of those gritty materials, and as you begin to flex the shoe for 150, 200 miles, will begin to wear those materials down. I'm just a little concerned. I'm not running into issues currently, but I can foresee things happening. So it is a concern that I just wanted to raise that flag for you. It's all for you. But honestly, that's pretty much it for dislikes. It's a very simple shoe, again, reduced shoe, very specific race-ready tempo effort type shoe. I've already mentioned that a number of times in this review. So let's just get more specific here in our breakdown where we talk about the build, the comfort, fit, price, and looks, starting as always with build quality. I mentioned the durability concerns. I'm not running into that right now, but I do, just based off of the upper materials sort of coming apart a little bit, it does give me a little bit of pause. Comfort, I think that's one of the biggest drawbacks with the shoe, is that now I think the Peregrine has sort of shifted and become more of a race-ready shoe, definitely more minimal, more reduced. You're going to get plenty of ground feel. You'll get minimal protection. It's really the elements themselves providing that protection versus the stack height or the additional millimeters of material between you and the ground. The upper is comfortable and does get a good fit, which brings me to fit. I think that's the strongest point of this shoe, is just how good of a lockdown I was able to get here in the shoe. The Peregrine 12, I think, is a good example of how a shoe can provide you with that precision fit, that race-ready fit, while not being alienating and way too narrow and just ruin the experience for people who might have wider feet or toes that want to splay a little bit. I think the shoe has that really nice, fine balance. Price at $130. I actually think the shoe's priced okay for what you get. I think it's a great entry-level shoe, a great shoe for people to add to their rotation of trail shoes if you're looking for like keeping a shoe for race day and that sort of thing. If you're looking at training and logging lots of middle distance miles, this may not be that kick. I think $130 is a pretty good price point. Bringing us to looks, I don't think it's the best looking shoe, but I'm aware it's not the worst looking shoe either. They do make a variety of color versions. So if you're looking for something to match your kit, they do have a lot of options for you to choose from. This being their yellow-orange highlighter version. Man, I just feel like I've been seeing so many orange trail shoes that for me, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. But it's bold and it stands out. That's for sure. So looks, I'm, a little mixed on. Bringing us to our conclusion. So I would say that the Saucony Peregrine 12 is a really fun shoe. It is a shoe that I'm going to be using on those faster effort days where I want to pick up the pace. I want to work on intervals or ladder workouts on trails. Things might get a little technical or the weather might be a little adverse. I think you get a lot for very little in a little package here. But if you're looking for that daily trainer, this isn't necessarily the shoe that I would lean towards. And while it doesn't have a lot of what previous versions had, both in girth, size, weight, everything like that, it does provide a very precise and nimble ride, which some of you might be looking for, and might give you guys some smiles for miles, which is always worth it. Bringing us to our final criteria, is the Peregrine 12 a buy, try, or a why? In its simplest form, it is a try. If you have not tried the Peregrine before, now might be a good chance to get it into rotation, give it a shot. Those who are Peregrine purists, you might be of a different opinion. I think those of you who are used to a bit more underfoot, a bit more structure, a bit stiffer platform, this shoe might be a bit of a surprise to you. And I'm actually quite curious now what you think of the Peregrine 12 in the comments of this video. That's it for today's review, everybody. Let me know what you think. But if you have any questions or you want to get a pair of the Peregrine 12 for yourself, links in the description will take you over to Running Warehouse. You can grab them there. If you are a GR crew member, go get the coupon code. You could use that for all of your running gear at Running Warehouse as well. That is it for today's review. Of course, if you liked it, like, favorite, subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/thegingerrunner, social media links, all that good stuff. And join us at Patreon. Join the GR crew, patreon.com/thegingerrunner. Some really fun perks on the back end, including our daily live streams. So much fun. For now, I'm going to get back to work on Tiger Clots, our in-person race. It's happening in just a matter of days. Cannot wait to see hundreds of you come conquer our course. It's an absolute beast, and it's going to be super fun. Some of you might even be wearing these. That's it for now. Get out there, train hard, race harder, and party the hardest. I know I am. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.